About a year ago, I made a video about why you should leave your iPhone and go to a Galaxy S10 or a Galaxy phone in general. The video did really well, people seemed to enjoy it, and people had a lot of questions. Now, I think it's only fair to talk about going the opposite direction. It just took me a year to get to it. But it's actually probably better that I did because now I'm actually on an iPhone. I went from Android to iOS, so I can tell you about the things that you will get, which are great, and the things that you will miss, which suck. I'll tell you about all those things right after this.
This is, you listening to Travis.
What up, players? Welcome back. And for all you new people, welcome. My name's Travis and I do tech videos every single week and have a blast doing them. If that sounds like fun to you, sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Anything I talk about will be in the description below. But for now, let's just get into the video. So back in the end of 2019, I finally left Android and came over to iOS. I talked about this in several videos, but I want to give people an idea of what to expect. I've been getting a lot of comments lately of people on Android thinking about going to iOS and wanting some advice. Now, I need to preface this by saying that it doesn't necessarily mean that Android is terrible or Samsung phones are terrible or anything like that at all, or even that iPhones are better. They're just different. They're better for different people. And they both have great benefits. I actually own somewhere in the neighborhood of like 10 or 12 Android phones. I'm looking at them off camera. And I think 3 iPhones, maybe 4, something like that. So I have a lot more Android phones than I do iPhones. But I've used both extensively. And I can tell you the pros and the cons of each. So let's say you're leaving a Samsung smartphone, and this can go for any Android phone, but I'm going to talk about Samsung because it has a couple features that I really think are amazing and the things that you might miss leaving there. Now, I don't know why you might be leaving Samsung, but let's just talk about some of the things you will miss out on. Number one being always on display. Now, as of the making of this video, Apple doesn't have an always on display option for their phones, even though they have OLED phones and they could totally do it. I think it's a battery thing, and that's something that you may have noticed on any of your Android phones that have always on display. There's a little bit of a battery drain. However, always on display is really just great, mainly because so many of those notification lights on the fronts of phones kind of disappeared when these kind of full screen front facing portions of phones became the norm and there was no place for a notification light. Always on display kind of just, got rid of the need for that. You can have your notifications there, your time, the weather, the controls for your music, everything. It's amazing, great, and just magnifique, as my boy Viper goes, magnifique. I can't do it, Viper. You're gonna have to do it for me.
Magnifico, magnifico.
So yeah, if you are using your always on display a lot, that might hurt. This one might hurt. Number 2, being able to get to the operating system easily just by plugging in your computer into the USB or USB-C, depending on which phone you have. It's not really a thing. Like, you can plug it in, and if you have iTunes, it'll do things. iTunes is terrible. Probably by the time some people see this video, there might not even be an iTunes. But regardless, you can only get to certain files when you plug your computer directly into your iPhone. So if you move lots of files to and from, which, on an Android phone, your phone becomes basically a new big thumb drive. It's awesome. That's not really the case on an iPhone. So just don't get used to doing that. Now, if you're on a Samsung phone, you're gonna miss out on DeX. That means no more desktop kind of computer that when you plug your phone into your computer, which is great. There's no reason that Apple can't do this. It would be really great. They totally could. They have iPad OS. They could probably store it on an iPhone. It certainly has enough processing power, but it's not a thing. So your phone is your phone. That's it. You're not getting anything else. That's it. That's a wrap. You're not getting nothing like that. And while Apple does have Apple Pay, you're missing out on Samsung Pay, which is amazing in every single way possible because of MST. That's where you can go to pretty much any swipe down credit card thing, use your phone, and you're good to go. I'm just gonna be honest, you might as well, I've never used Apple Pay, and I probably never will. Also, the ability to completely customize your phone easily, you can forget about that. I mean, you ain't doing that on an iPhone. Sure, you might be able to jailbreak it or something, but you don't wanna do that. If you really like customizing your phone and doing really cool backgrounds and widgets and live wallpapers and all the things, like everything that you could ever want, you can forget about that. Listen, Apple has pretty much a plan of how you're going to use your phone, and they want you to just experience that. That's your thing. So kiss all that goodbye. And if you like different looks on phones, if you like your phone to maybe have a front-facing camera that's a punch hole or a pop-up or anything like that, and you just like to be able to choose between different types of phones when you're on Android, that's not happening. There's one manufacturer of iPhones. It's Apple. And if they like a look and they come out with a look, that's what your phone's gonna look like. That's it. It's a wrap. And of course, there's other things. The operating system is slightly different. But look, it's not all gloom and doom. There's some really great things about iOS that you might actually really appreciate. First of all, and I've been saying this for a long time, updates are amazing. You will get updates on the day they're available. No longer waiting for long updates, security updates, operating system updates. You're good to go. Plus, you're able to get updates for multiple years. Android phones have anywhere between 1 year in the case of TCL, all the way up to maybe 2 or 3, depending on who your manufacturer is. Apple right now is about 4 or 5 years. And they have Apple stores you can easily find and take your phone in if you have a problem. And it's pretty easy to get things done. Also, if you live in America, you probably have a ton of friends that have iPhones. And the minute that you get on there and they see that blue bubble, your whole world's gonna change. Group texting is just amazing on iMessage. And I'll tell you, I didn't think it was gonna be a big deal, but it really is. Like everything you can do on iMessage, while there is some type of comparable option on Android, it's just not the same, man. It's just, you can say, well, download this, but I don't want to have to download it. iMessage is just built on it. And you never have to worry about sending something and their phone not seeing the icon because they don't have the right operating system. The vast majority of people who have an iPhone have the latest version of the operating system. Like, it's just a thing. That's what people do on Apple. They update their phones. Also, the integration, if you decide to buy other Apple devices, is incredible. The Apple Watch is probably the best smartwatch out of any watch I've ever had. And I've had just about all of them. Android watches are cool, but the Apple Watch is a beast. There are some better looking Android smartwatches, but that's about it. I mean, I'm just gonna be honest with you. Ain't none of them saving your life. And the Apple Watch has saved people's lives. End of story on that one. If you have a MacBook or an iPad, being able to AirDrop is so amazingly cool. The integration is crazy. When you actually turn on your Apple TV, like I have an Apple TV, which I love, and you go to search, your phone vibrates and you can type in the search. Like it's just integrated into your, everything is integrated. It knows everything. One really cool thing is when you upgrade from one iPhone to the next, as soon as you log into it, your phone can take phone calls and text messages. This actually has happened to me on more than one occasion where I'm setting up a phone for a review, and just because I'm on Wi-Fi, I get a call on it before I put my SIM in it. And that might seem like a small thing, but think about that for a moment. You don't even need to have a SIM in your phone to have it work. Now, of course, you can get like voice over IP numbers and stuff for other Android phones, but I've never seen an Android phone that can accept a call the first time it boots up into Android 10 or 9 or whatever you have. I've never seen that because you usually need a SIM. That's just the way it works. I mean, that makes sense, but Apple just, it's just like, here, ring, ring, ring. And that's kind of one of the things that Apple's really good at, the ease of use. Things just make sense. Things work. You get updates, integration's amazing, quality of products is there. And yeah, you will be in the walled garden. They call it that for a reason. They don't want you going outside the walled garden. They don't want you to make things look too cool or, make too many changes to your phone. But typically, if you're like an older person, or actually what funny thing about this is that a lot of younger people are using iPhones, especially if you have that blue bubble, you kind of start to like it. And currently, if you look online, you will find that a tremendous amount of young people are using iPhones now. It is like the thing. As a matter of fact, Samsung better need to get on their bike and start going, because if the influx of the younger generation continues to use iPhones at the rate they're using it, Samsung's gonna get flushed down the toilet. Just do a little research on this. I'm not making this up. Just check it out. You figure it out. You Google it. At the end of the day, moving between the two is going to be a stark difference. You will definitely feel it. It will feel painful at first, but then as things start to work, you're gonna start to enjoy it. There's so many great things about having an iPhone. And of course, there are so many great things about having an Android phone. So if you have an iPhone and you wanna switch to an Android phone, I have a video for that too. Again, made it about a year ago. It's right here. You should check it out. It's pretty cool. I'll see you next time. Peace and love.